All right. Let's get into the review of the round. Anything come out of that? The Knights Dolphins game kicked off last Thursday.
It's funny also because we're just talking about the biggest thing that come out of that game was just how elite Ponga is and how Ponga looks like on a different level, like mentally, bro. He's just in everything, bro. And Knights are going to be dangerous all year as long as Ponga's in there, bro, because he just looks different, bro. He's definitely like the best performed number one in the first two rounds. And right now, bro, he's my starting Queensland fullback, man. Like Reece Walsh, the incumbent, is nowhere near playing the same level based on the two games. We're only 2 games into the season, but even on their day when they're both on form, I still think Ponga, with his experience in that jersey, I would go with him as my number one. Because we'll mention it in the next game, but just Reece Walsh is just one of these. It's always in him, a performance that just like bots it, or because you're always going to get an error out of him. But I don't want to deter from this game. It was fucking mean, bro. Like Ponga was the difference source. And not much to say about the other guys. I don't think they will feature too much. But yeah, bro, Knights are on fire, man. Especially with Ponga, his form, man.
Bobby, any points out of this game?
No, I only caught highlights of this game, but I agree with Si. Like, Galen's he's putting in a captain's performance every week. This guy, and he's playing with real purpose in his first couple of rounds, and which is, that's what you want to see from your marquee players. Is you want them to just take the game by the scruff of the neck and just command it, and he's doing that at the moment. And that's encouraging for, hopefully for the Kiwis, because it looks like Malmaninga
he's coming.
doesn't want him at Australia. Doesn't want to pick him if they're not going to be fully committed. Yeah, man, Ponga is a beast at the moment, and he's a beast in the fantasy league too.
Yeah, good call out, Bobby. Like, that's how you perform on that. If you're that marquee player, and after all of that news, you think, oh yeah, he can. They were saying the pressure's off him now that that someone else has got that, big money tag on them and he can just play. But man, that's a performance to show that you can carry a team. But as well as the integrity, all of the stuff, saying I'm not going to play in the Indigenous games and the Māori game and all that. I want to focus on the team this year, and so to come through like he has, that's the kind of guy you want in there. All right, let's move into the Friday game. Friday night, Bobby. What time did you head over, mate, to the stadium?
We probably got there just as the reserves game was finishing up.
Are the boys going there? I don't. I just saw right at the end when they.
Yeah, I didn't catch the end of the score.
Oh, nice.
We just saw that the game had finished. I was like, oh, nah. But yeah, that game was a good bounce back by the Warriors because they needed to after their Vegas performance. It was very subpar, and it wasn't really the way that you wanted them to kickstart the season. That Vegas game. But in saying that, they played Raiders, and you thought, was that just a fluke from the Raiders? And then we'll talk about the Raiders game later. But, to come and beat Manly, who had pretty much forfeited the team the week before.
Oh, yeah, the Cowboys before.
Yeah. Like, that was impressive for them to put up that performance, especially after Manly scored in the first 4 minutes. And you thought, oh, my God, this is going to be...
When they had the big, so it was awesome, the big celebration, and Tohu Harris coming out, and they did the big ceremony, Kim was caught away, handed over, I was like, it's better not be build-ups, guys, don't ever hand over the towel, we're going to hand over the mantle, you guys, we're the new captains, like, these guys.
And that was cool too, man, the fireworks at halftime for Tohu, I was like, the video package highlights of
that was a cool
time at the Warriors. I was like, brought a tear to my eye, man. I was like, But even more was the fact that we beat Manly, who apparently Manly's been like the monkey team for the Warriors. Like, we've only beaten them 11 times out of like 30 something times we've played them, and so the ledger was definitely in favor of Manly. Man, after that first try, I was like, far out, man. Luke Metcalf, we really need this guy to step up. And I thought he had a great performance, Metcalf. He really stepped up for the team. Wade at hooker was awesome. He was doing all the things that you wanted him to do. I thought our halves really clicked in that game against Manly. Like, Chanel was doing all he needed to do to control that side. But also, I really like Rogers' involvement, like RTS coming in off the wing. And I know I was having gripes about Chance being at fullback. We need Roger at fullback. But
I had my sign. I put RTS at fullback.
What? Changes again, is it?
No, like, if he's going to be on the wing and
Chance
still
is all good now.
No, to be honest, I didn't even notice Chance.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not
during the game. He probably did all he needed to do, but he wasn't a highlight for me in the match. And RTS with his carries, that try that he scored, where he just sort of muscled up through the line and got it back on when he cut back the angle, like that sort of stuff you notice. And I think even though I didn't notice Chance and I didn't notice, Pompey make too many mistakes or anything like that, it means that they're doing what they're meant to be doing. They're doing their job, and it's allowing everyone else in the team to sort of step up and to do the highlight reel plays. So yeah, like it was good, and it was a good way to sort of send off and hand over the mantle from Tohu to the two co-captains. That's what I've enjoyed about the Warriors in the last few years since we come back from COVID. They've come back into the stadium. The stadium's been packed full of fans, and that sort of vibe's carried on. Like it hasn't died off. I remember we talked about it a few years back about the vibe and going into Warriors games and the new stuff that they brought in with the laser lights and all of that sort of fancy shit. That's really cool for families. The vibe's still there. Like you still come to the stadium, it's still full of kids walking around. And if the Warriors continue to play like this, like it just attracts more and more people. Now you're starting to see like Super Rugby games bringing in laser light shows, and you're bringing in all this and so that's okay. Like they can emulate what's happening at the Warriors at the rugby games to bring more excitement back to Super Rugby, and that's what you kind of want. But then you also want the product to reflect, what's happening off the field and within the stadiums. I just feel like the Warriors at the moment, they're playing really good footy. I know it was only round 2, and the first round was. I'm just happy that they fixed up all of that shit from that first game where people were just getting pats on the back to the try line. I was like, what the hell? Where's the defense?
Go this way.
No one was marking up that first game, but it was good. And to beat Manly, who had all their guns, who had Turbo, DCE, like they were a pretty good team, Manly, on the night. And even though we won, I was still fearful that Manly were going to come back. They just have it in them to
the bunker tried
to pull your pants down. Yeah, and there were a couple of tries there which I thought could have gone either way. But even at Mount Smart at home, the Warriors never get those scores.
Yeah, exactly. You never get the rub of the green. You think at home you get the rub of the green.
You could throw up 100
chance.
coins, and Warriors will still not win any of those tosses, mate. So yeah, the bunker came close to ruining it, but in the end, man, those controversial decisions for mine didn't have any impact on the game. The Warriors still came away with the win, so good win for the boys.
Nice, Bobby. Yeah, so you catch this one? You catch up on the game?
Yeah, bro. It was an entertaining game, man. It was an interesting game. I thought it looked like to me, especially at the halftime, Manly were going to blow Warriors apart because they opened them pretty easy especially on that Warriors left edge. But it seemed like every time they went wide to Saab, bro, he was always in the open, man. Hey, he had a fucking couple of good mean runs down there, and I think they only scored like maybe once or twice from there. But I just thought I'm not trying to take the shine away from the Warriors, but I just thought the Manly team, especially the forward pack of the second half, was pretty gaffs, bro. It was really pretty disappointing. And saying that, I thought the Warriors had to bring something different, man. They look a lot more dangerous, bro. When Rogers got the ball, and 1-on-1, they got these athletes, but they got to get them the ball 1-on-1, get that speed. I just thought most of the tries were kind of a bit more opportunistic, but
Which game are you
there's
talking about?
still a lot of more question marks. Bro, don't get me wrong, McCuff was mean, but he didn't require the fucking kicking game to really save his team. You know, when things aren't going as
We're a run
well.
first team, mate. Everyone else kicking. We're
But
not about the kicks.
I forgot to mention in the Kayakele that ref call when when the Manly was doing their comeback and that tap in try.
Tap back from
Was it Garrick?
Garrick. Yeah.
Man, I'm not blind, bro. Like, but everyone saw that his boot touched the line, eh? And I don't know. I think it was just one of those ones where, man, if you believe there's some kind of fucking conspiracy, then you believe it on that call, bro. Because it's like that was an obvious one, man.
Oh,
I think they just wanted to make it more interesting. Like, was that a call from the top?
yeah, I wonder if the
Like,
bunker's remote
no,
or if they're at the
give
field.
it.
Yeah.
The viewers are tuning out. The Warriors, all the Sydney viewers are
These
tuning
guys are
out.
celebrating too much. These guys are celebrating too much. Let's calm them
It's
down.
making it interesting. You know, it's just a head scratcher, bro. Some of these shocking calls, but yeah, man, good win, great win for the fans, man. You guys need it, but not too many question marks answered, bro. I just thought it was a bit of a poor performance from Manly.
I kind of agree. Like what Manly threw at us, like I think it's probably a bit of both. Like the Warriors aimed up. I like the rotation they have. Barney put on a big stint. Like I think he didn't come off till like the 60th, but it just meant that you had Fish able to swap out, but they've got the captain on most of the game. So I think that really helped. Aaron Clark, I think that was a huge difference. Like I mentioned, not having that Tohu Harris kind of ball player before the halves. He made a big difference in there, and then swapping him out with Dylan Walker. I like Jackson Ford's input too. When he comes in, he's like a old school Kevin Campion. That's why when he started at 13 last week, it was like you said, so it's just one dimensional, all the kind of players we had. So, mixing it up with Aaron Clark and Dylan Walker seems to be working there. I like Talasima. I'd
He's
really like.
mean, yeah.
He had a really good game for the young kid. Like some of these guys, haven't really been mentioned even in the preseason games. I thought Bunty was doing all right, but he seems to have fallen out of favor. But this kid's quietly just put his hand up. Some of the work that he did. Yeah, just a silent achiever. So I think hats off to Webster, like just what he's doing. That run first mentality, like I said, people sleeping on him, thinking he's playing the same game book, but he knows these halves are real different from SJ. He hasn't got a Tohu Harris as that, that organizer like Isaiah Yeo. So yeah, I'm
I don't know if Ford's done
liking what he's
anything,
doing.
bro, for the first 2 games. What do you think about him?
Who, Jackson Ford?
Yeah.
So I think him and Murata need to aim up. Like there was just some defensive
And I
stuff
think
from those
Capewell's,
guys.
but he's over the hill, bro. He's really MIA, man. You should get one of these young ones that's starting.
Early days, round 2, mate. Round 2. Just relax.
What do you think? I think you need more from Capewell, eh?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like I think all of them are trying to, get that combination right. But Murata, like he's had some real good angles. Those runs that he's doing, it's just his hands are leading him down. I think that'll come with time, just their timing. But
he needed a good game, bro. He's been having fucking quiet games for the last year, old Murata.
Yeah, well, I think all his plans to go back to the Eels are gone through the roof, so he's going to stay with the Warriors and work hard. So
I think he needs more footwork at the line.
Well, and that's what without Fanua,
Josh
you've
Curran,
lost that. And Tohu.
When Curran was at the Warriors, and he still does doggies.
Yes.
But when he runs onto those short balls, like the first thing he does is he catches the ball, boom, and he does this like little
Yeah, he's like moving before he catches and pulls it in.
Whereas Monita's like, I'm going to run everyone over.
Yeah, it's that robotic. It's very, similar to Ford.
Everyone knows how to bring these types of runners down, man.
It's the haircut. It's the enforcer haircut. It's the Terminator. I am coming straight for you.
And you know what? Like, if he's going to run like that, and if he's sort of, people know that that's how he plays, the Warriors should use that and, like, run someone...
Yeah, just a decoy off him. Yeah.
Or just, sorry, yours is just going to be a quick short ball to you, but then you're just going to make it to the next guy again. And the defender's
just those, soft skills.
Boom.
You're right. Those will come.
I'll have him off the bench, bro. Not on the second row. I think the second rows are all, like, just big robots who don't really do much. But they're safe on defense, but I know someone like he's gone, Mau's gone,
Well, I think that's part of it, though. We need those robots to simplify our defense. Otherwise, you got too much flashy guys, and then it's like, oh, so you tackle him because I just do steps and funny fancy passes. So I think that's where we try and get that balance. I think it's better for the long game as well. Like, that 80-minute game. It's not like a Warriors game where you're like, oh man, I gotta wait for this next 10 minutes just in case. Like, you can actually celebrate at the end of the game knowing we got it. Not oh, they're gonna come back, man. These guys, I don't think they got it.
You've still got to come back in them.
As they're
Even
checking
they
the
were
clock.
like
How
2
long?
tries ahead and 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I think that's what it brings as well. Just that fitness and stability, knowing that these guys can close the game out. Nice, boys.
I think so long as guys like Capewell, Marata, and Ford are passing on all of their knowledge and information to guys like Lecker.
Yeah,
and
these boys with the
all
skill,
those guys coming up, Laban, all of those guys, if they're passing on what they know, and Fisher Harris and all these guys are teaching these young props, and the person I look to is no Fahu out at the Roosters, where I think he came in under Jared Warrior-Hargreaves, and I'm thinking, man, that is the best guy to sort of learn off in
Here's
terms
what you
of
want
the
to do to scare everyone.
Yeah, I know. And now I see that same sort of thing at the Warriors, where they've got all of these experienced guys and then all of these young guys. So long as there's some sort of mentoring going on, the Kate Wells and the Fisher Harrises of the world are passing on that knowledge to our young boys coming through. It looks good. So long as they don't do a Zion and then get poached or move on to somewhere else, because then they just take that knowledge with them.
Nice, boys. Final little call out there. Welcome back to Rocco Berry. A few little good touches there, so I'm looking forward to him being in the mix. All right, Panthers Roosters, second upset of the round. First 2 games. I don't think many picked this. We picked it in the multi, $11 for the Roosters to win this. How'd you see this one, Bobby? You catch much of this on your way home?
No, not really. I didn't catch it at all. I was probably still too celebrating the Warriors
your autographs.
Celebrating the Warriors game. But watching the highlights of this, I thought the Roosters, they've got a whole lot of young guys coming up too. And I read an article that they were highlighting a few of like the young forwards. There was a forward that came through. I can't find his name. But then like the next day he went to work because he's only on like this $20,000.
Taylor Lozano.
Something like that. And then the coach is ringing him up at work because he's like a concrete layer or something. Man. He was like, "Sully, why aren't you at training?" He's like, "Oh, I'm at work." I thought that was just a one-off call-up.
But,
that's the type of hard-working youngster that the Roosters have, and they've got a whole bunch of them coming up. Like that Robert Toya in the centres.
Bro, how good is he?
Man, he is a gun, right? Like he was gun in the first game, and then he played really well in this game too. Connor Watson, he's playing amazing at the moment, and he's really sort of leading that around the ruck speed for these guys. So, I think the Panthers got ambushed because the odds were so long for the Roosters.
Yeah, almost there. I wonder if
a sneaky. So these guys only $11 to win, man. We got this.
Yeah, they never expect that from the Panthers, kind of that attitude, but that's how it looked. Like, yeah, man, it's the Roosters,
man. And then like during the week, like Ivan Cleary's still getting asked questions about, yeah, man, how are you guys coping with that loss? He's like, I'm trying to move on, man. We've already forgotten about it. We'll moved on. That's probably not the way to respond. I think, if these guys haven't beaten them in their last 11 games or whatever it was, I was like, oh, yeah, well, we need to sort of focus on what it was that we lost. It's an opportunity for the Panthers. Every loss, I reckon, for the Panthers is an opportunity for them to say, well, what can we tweak? Because we've had very few losses in the last 4 years. It's like, okay, what didn't work? What works? But the Roosters, for mine, they did really good in that game. I can't talk too much because I only watched highlights and they showed the tries. But it was so close. Did it look like at the end they were trying to bring the Panthers back? and to try and get them to score. That total try was amazing. I thought at the end there, but it's like, oh man, that got way closer than it probably needed to be at the end there.
So your points out of this game.
Bro, one of the games of the round for me, man. It was number one, the upset. No one, not even the experts or the so-called experts, whoever they are,
Well, after
could
what you guys did to them,
just judging. Yeah, what that's what I was saying, man. Judging on the Roosters' performance, I know Broncos did all right and get round one, but I thought the Roosters probably displayed the most disappointing performance out of all the teams there. So it was the biggest turnaround, bro. But just these young kids, man. I thought the Panthers probably took them a bit lightly. But just the way these especially the forward pack, man, guys like Nofa White, Salisi Foketi, they started. You mentioned that fella Taylor Losalu. You know, he the next day, bro, he went to his labouring job. So like, bro, these guys, they pretty much beat them up, bro, in the middle, man. Put a lot of pressure. I don't think their forward pack, like I don't have the stats in front of me, bro, but what's his name? Zayo, he really couldn't really put his stamp on the game. I thought a lot of their main guys like Cleary, they had a bit of a shocker, bro. They put pressure on them, bro. It just goes to show, bro. You get that right, you get the basics right, of league, union, whatever it is, up front. And these halves got to do extra special things to keep you in the game, bro, if they don't have that momentum, mate. I just thought that the performance of these young Roosters, bro, who, you know, some of them were flying out the line, bro, putting hits on. And saying that, I don't think the Panthers played their best because even in their last 10 minutes, man, they still had a chance to bring it back and score in the end there. So the Roosters definitely gave them a few chances to win the game, bro. But it was just the ambush they put on the reigning premiers, bro. But it's not a big deal. I don't think it's panic stations for, you know, everyone's entitled to a bad performance every now and then. It's very rare we see it from these fellas, But the big question mark is this Roosters team, bro. They got enough to make the 8. I don't know, bro. I think this is one of those a random performance, bro.
Yeah.
Too many youngins.
I think that, I mentioned it when I came on Camp's podcast last week. You know, the Roosters, you know, with all their salary cap, with all the losses they've had, you know, there's a lot of money. But yeah, Robbo came out and was straight up like he wants to do it a different way. So it's good on them because, you know, for years people just teased the Roosters. You know, they got brown paper bags and that's how they win premierships, is, you know, just importing all these players. So, you know,
I still think they're saving up for a big name, which is why they've got so much space in their cap.
So yeah, and I think they've got probably the bankroll to do it, but also, you know, part of what he wants to do is blood new players, like bring them through the system, which is, I mean, it's a good thing. You know, that's one game, but a huge game as well with these young kids. And like you said, if the team is all doing their jobs, it makes it a lot easier for these inexperienced halves. Otherwise, you just need super halves like Nathan Cleary. So I think, you know, similar to the Warriors, like you said, the Manly weren't outstanding, but everyone in the Warriors was doing their job. Like Bob said, you know, Pompey's not making errors and you don't notice these things. It means everyone's doing their job. You don't need the superstars in certain positions if, you know, it's kind of a well-oiled machine. So, yeah, probably also looking forward ahead. That's probably, probably a good timing to get the Roosters that win too, because it at least makes sure that the Warriors aren't sleeping on them. You know, we could have easily come off the back of the Manly and been like, oh, wow, it's the Roosters 2-0. They got sassed by the Broncos and Panthers, whereas at least we're on guard now. So thank you, Panthers, for that, giving us that opportunity. Anything else out of that game, boys? We'll move on to the Rabbits and the Dragons Saturday night's game, the first one there. Man, I guess I already mentioned a few points out of this. The Dragons still look good, but you need a bit more from them. I don't know. I can't put my finger on what's happening there. You know, leading 24-12 and then just letting the Rabbits back in, and again, I don't know if the Rabbits are fully
They
there.
choked, bro. That's
Yeah.
what that game is
Yeah.
about. Dragons choked like motherfuckers. It's not up by heaps.
Yeah.
I think it was the last 10 minutes.
24-12 and just
Yeah, and even
go to
that
sleep.
drop kick looked like that wasn't the initial plan.
It was rushed. Yeah, that's what I mean. That
went
kid's
left,
clutch.
come back, and the half was like, motherfucker should have just passed it to me in the first place, and then boom.
Yeah.
But even before that, bro, like Dragons had so many sets. It's almost like what the Blues do. You know when sorry to change. But you know when someone was like, no, don't worry about the easy 3 points. We're gonna go line out, and we're gonna go fucking score 7. And then you get to the line out, and then you fuck up, can't even fucking win your own line out. It's a bit like that, bro. Like the Dragons was like, okay, now it's close. We can get an easy one here, but now I'm gonna smash you with 6 points.
Yeah.
And then they fucking do stupid ass error.
See, it's that too polotu mentality, too busy looking good. Hey, you guys would rather lose pretty than win ugly.
I'm not sold on both of these teams, bro. Both of these teams going to be those eat-ass wins. Every time they win, it's like, oh, shit, oh, okay. As long as... But when Finn comes back for the Bunnies, then we'll know when they're like going to be elite title contenders or not.
Cameron Murray?
Well, no, he's out for the season.
Latrell. Yeah. Yeah, Bobby, your thoughts on the Raiders? The Rabbits, you reckon Bennett can fix this team up?
Oh, well, he's sitting pretty at the moment, isn't he? Like,
2-0, yeah.
People were sort of talking up whether he could bring that Wayne Bennett magic to the Bunnies, and then losing the trail before the first round even starts. People were sort of 50-50, but he's pulled 2 from 2 now, so it's like, oh, Rabbitohs might be the real deal. And just the way they came back, yes, the Dragons were playing stupid, but then, like, good on the Bunnies for getting up.
Yeah, going through the motions.
Yeah, hard out. And then I was laughing at last try that at the end when the whistle got blown and the game was finished, and then you can see Cody Walker looking at Tupulotu's off screen. He just go, he was just pointing at him, going,
oh shit!
And I didn't even notice that until Caleb, my son, goes, because he's a Bunnies fan. He was hard out celebrating. He was like, look, Cody Walker, he's pointing to Christian. Caleb used to play against Christian back in the
same age group.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was like, shame, Christian, shame.
Is he a Kiwi? Is he a Kiwi, or just when they're playing over there?
Yeah, he's a Kiwi.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he used to play here. He was playing out in the South teams, Tupulotu. So he was like, yeah, we just used to play against each other. Shame, Christian, shame. I was like, calm down, mate, calm down. But I mean, it looks good for the Bunnies, right? Like, there was all this talk, all these expectations. They've lost Damien Cook. What's going to look like now? All this sort of turmoil around the Bunnies, all the off-season.
And they're getting these dubs without their main stars, man.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing. And, Cody Walker, we talk about Dylan Brown, but I think Cody Walker should be chucked in there as like, those two players are very similar. Cody Walker, Dylan Brown.
Yeah,
but
pretty much.
Like, they have the potential to be outstanding, but then a lot of times they don't. The issue of Cody is that dude is super emotional.
Yeah.
If he does a mistake or if they're behind, the guy gets caught up in his feelings, man.
And that's the hard thing. So they've done a lot. It looks like they've done a lot of work with him. So they've managed to bring that in. But now it's almost like a disinterest in the game. It's like the passion's gone. Like, so they get hungry. I still want to get in a fight. It's like, oh, come on, man.
Hey, if you're like, someone that will react to niggle way, like, you'd be easily if I also him, mate.
That's why you see. That's what heaps of players started doing. Just for no reason, just niggle and try and get him angry.
On the ruck, like bend the finger back or do something to react.
We'll see if Bennett's magic
the Bunnies should have won that. There was a get out of jail for the Bunnies.
All right, let's head over to Queensland, Townsville. Cowboys, horrible. Against the Sharks, 36.
Let's skip that one, mate.
Yeah. Nothing.
We didn't learn anything new that one.
Nah, not really.
Speaking of learning things new, let's head over to GIO Stadium. We learnt a lot here. Big Red is back. Josh Papali'i is looking in fine form. And Reece Walsh is scoring super fantasy points, negative points. Also, I'll leave it to you first, man. Like night and day. What happened? I guess we did the opposite. Came back. You
Oh,
guys.
Yeah, it was well, number one, it's scary what the way in Raiders win this game through the power on their forwards and not even have their fucking best forward in Tapine.
Mm,
Hey, like it just shows to me like the kind of team that you come up against. I think Raiders down there is going to be a hard win. And saying that, I still think the Bronx had enough, artillery to win this game. I thought that their tries, they kind of caressed their tries when, when it was kind of needed to really weather the storm with Raiders. Like I mentioned it when Big Papa, just the way his energy, and like I said, he didn't bring like big numbers. He's not a big statistical prop, but you could just feel
his
like, when we're
presence.
talking about Union, when you really fucking pull out the heart and soul of a team, if you can just be destructive in their scrum, hey, and if you like fuck up the first scrum of the game and you get the opposition going backwards 2 meters, like boom, the fucking damage is done. And I feel like that the first 20 minutes, Payne Haas and Carrigan were
Not
too busy
mentally
trying to
tough.
finesse
Not mentally
when
tough.
you really they should have fucking rolled up their sleeves and gave it to the Horsburghs, gave it to the fucking Papali'is. These guys just beat us up, bro. That every time they had the ball, like the next person hitting up had an extra 5 meters. Like the Horsburghs fucking offloads killed us, and they just got enough in the halves to finish that off. I thought we could create. We still create. We were one of the best. Man, the spine looks awesome with Reynolds and with Hunt. Hunt set up a couple of tries on the blind side there, bro. Heading his outsides. So I think we've got enough in our ammunition on the fence. I just think that maybe we just lost to a better team, bro. And Raiders going to be a problem if they're going to bring that style, which is very unorthodox, bro. I like the way they play, bro. It's not block play kind of, and it's not really an arm wrestle type. They're bringing out some like fucking a la 2002 Warriors style, where like big mobile forwards with a bit of skill level, trouble the fucking line with some late offloads. So it's fair. It's a fair win for the Raiders. Disappointing performance. I think it's definitely a down from round one. But I just thought like our forwards, they got to not only bring the numbers, but you got to be dominant, man. You got to withstand what Papali'i can bring and absorb it and give it back. I just don't think Carrigan and Haas were up to the job, bro. They got outplayed.
Bobby, yeah, your thoughts on the Raiders? You agree with Si? He bringing?
yeah, for most part, I like the look of that edge forward, that Matt Nixon guy. He scored 2 tries in the weekend, so he's
bro.
really good. And he had 2 line breaks. Like he's not making heaps of meters, but when he gets his opportunities to run the ball, like he's breaking the line, and
He's rangy. He's
he's going to be getting more opportunity in the coming weeks because Hosking's out with a hand injury.
Yeah.
So if you don't have Matt Nixon in your fantasy teams, man, I reckon you should put him in there because that guy's gun.
Hey, grab him.
What did Hudson Young score? He would have scored. He fucking had a million game.
Yeah. Hudson's he's carving up for me at the moment.
He had 50.
Have you got him?
Yeah. Him
This
and
could be the year for him, bro.
I reckon
He's doing some mean stuff.
he's hungry.
Like he already had the skills. He's like a real, not your stereotypical. He's like a Balangi Ali Lotiri man.
I don't think he's got that much ball skill though. Like he's fit, but that's the thing. So for what I saw from that game though, it was very much like, I don't know if you guys didn't do your video sessions last week, because it's the exact same intent that they came against the Warriors. 4 in the tackle, really manning up, pushing back in there, like getting real physical from the start and offloads. Like that was their whole game plan against the Warriors. So I don't know if they'll
Bro,
carry.
Horsburgh was doing Ali Lawatini on
Yeah,
us,
so
bro.
that's what. Yeah,
With
Horsburgh was
ease.
getting the arm, so he's looking dangerous. He's yeah, I think he's gunning to try and get back in that Queensland squad.
That's a natural way. He's got that lanky
Just,
frame,
but a big
but
frame
like an
too.
awkward guy to tackle,
Yeah,
He's
just
always
quite tall and lanky.
yeah,
Like,
bro.
but yeah, I think if they can carry on that style of play, because yeah, no one like you look at a lot of the teams, everyone's kind of going quite safe. Like you either just ball play or go to the line and just take it. These guys are looking for an offload all over the show, so they're very much yeah, that second phase. And I think that was the difference. Like Manly offered none of that, so it made the defense for the Warriors a lot more simpler. Like like you're saying, the Warriors are robotic, so they go up, hit and stick, and man on man, it's easy. Whereas, these guys, you only got one or two in the tackle, and they were making sure they got rid of the ball. So yeah, it seems to be a highlight of their game. So it would be interesting to see if they carry it through the season. Real early in the season, but you caught it as well, Simon. You guys, you think the Raiders are the real deal, top 8 team this year?
Oh, I think they're definitely competitive for top 8. I don't know if I put them in real deal top 4 contention. We're in week 2, but I love the style. It's they've got a mean back 5 as well, so they get out of trouble pretty easily. And
Yeah,
they
that
got
Tamale
real
has been awesome for them, eh?
they got firepower. They're getting these back 5 1-on-1
So is that your
versus the
Ainga,
line.
Bob? Savalio.
Yeah.
Savalio.
Nah.
Oh.
Yeah, bro, him and Tamale, man, they're fucking some really good athletes, eh? You're definitely the form team at the moment. I don't know if I'm confident enough to put them in my 4, but I didn't have them in my 8. But at the moment, I probably would. I'll probably get rid of the Tigers and sneak them in my 8 ahead of them at the moment.
Yeah, Bobby, your thoughts on the Raiders early in the season? They were the real deal.
They're looking like it. I mean, I mentioned last year that this team is they're the real grinders in games, and they've managed to win games without really needing to grind as much as they have in the past. You're right, like the offloads, the flair they're starting to show. It's really entertaining to watch because it reminds you of the old green machine back in the day when they had all the superstars coming out.
When Ricky was the man, I guess that's what he's doing. They like
yeah, I mean, are they a contender? They've been close to being contenders for the last few years, finishing just outside. Or you get to that very last round and waiting for results to go their way and they'll make it into the 8. I think they're playing like they want to take their destiny into their own hands this year, and get into the 8 based on their performances. So, they're playing in the first couple of rounds like a team that wants to be in the 8. You know what I mean? It's still early days, but based on the early form, it's pretty good.
Nice. All right. Let's move over. We've mentioned a few points from this game. Anything else to pull out of the Eels and Tigers? Your thoughts on guys? Jerome so far?
Yeah, bro, I'll give him a pass, Marcos. I think that's a really exciting backline, man. When you look at that, and if you add in Croissant to that, which because I think he plays that 9, that hooker position, like almost like the organizer. But yeah, bro, Lachlan, Galvin, Luai, they kind of get their timing right. I mean, even game 2, you could see them opening them up pretty easy.
Yeah.
Out wide. Harder one to judge, because you don't know how really good Eels are going to be. It was pretty lackluster performance from them. But no, bro, it was good to see the potential of the Tigers. I think this would be huge for the Tigers. I picked them for my 8. But they're definitely out of the wooden spoon picture for me with the 2 performances.
Nice. Bobby, yeah, you mentioned Buller and May, but your thoughts on Jerome so far as well?
I still don't think he's come into his own at the Tigers. Lockie Galvin's playing way more sort of enterprising footy for the Tigers at the moment. And, I had a comment with with Caleb when we were watching this. I was like, should he just go back to 6 and Lockie Galvin at halfback? Because it seemed like Lockie was doing more of the game
I wonder
management.
if they're just doing it with the numbers, but really playing that way.
Yeah, because it seemed that way, and it seemed like Lockie was doing a lot of roaming. Like he'd pop up
both sides,
on both sides, and I was like, what's going on? But what I like about Luai is it's similar to the doggies. They've got Berto's left foot, and that left foot kicking, the ability to have a lefty to kick you out of trouble, to provide a different angle for your attack. It's always going to be harder for teams to sort of cope when they've got guys that can kick both legs in their halves. It's like, shit, the fullback's got to be like this, running on both sides. But yeah, like he still hasn't sort of come into his old Panthers form, I don't think, which isn't a bad thing. It just means he's just finding his feet at the team. And, I think the Tigers are only going to get better. I think it's an exciting year for the Tigers. Benji seems super positive. It's weird because you see guys like Alex Twal who you haven't really seen in previous years.
Being a toiler, just
anything. Man, the dude's been playing out of his skins at 30, and I was like, what the hell? This guy was like, you'd feature every now and then, only a few years back he scored his first try.
That's right.
And they celebrated like, yay, someone's been
There's a meme for ages,
games.
like, at least Alex 12 scored a try. I was like, what the hell?
I know, right? And it's like, you sort of think, shit, who was that forward that they lost? Was it Tuika Manu or...
Oh, yeah, Stefano. Yeah, over to the Storm.
So you think, like, Tuika Manu used to always feature, and now you've got, like, Alex 12. Like, do you have a gun forward that does lots of stuff as a highlight, or do you have a guy like Alex 12 that seems to work better in combination with the other forwards around him?
Just compliment instead of being like the one guy who's...
I never used to notice Alex 12 until this year. This first 2 weeks, I was like, I only ever noticed 12 because of all the stuff that they'd say about him. Like,
the first time you watched the Tigers game this year.
That's probably the other thing. Yes, I'm all over the Tigers stuff.
What does this 12 guy do? So, yeah, probably, like, you never really sort of noticed many of the Tigers in the last few years anyway, because they're wooden spooners. But yeah, like they've got a really good team this year, and Uppy must be so happy to have his ex-Panthers boys there now. Taruva, it's good. Like Taruva had a really good game in the weekend too. He scored a couple of tries, so good on the Tigers, man. I'd probably put them in the 8-2 based on these last few performances.
Let's move on to the final game of the round, Sunday game. Doggies at Belmore against the Titans. Man, that crowd, when they get up. I was looking forward to the Titans on this one. I had them in my multi, like a bit of an outsider, but just from preseason and, looking forward to seeing Tino back, RCG playing for them. So you catch this one?
Yeah, bro. I actually watched most of this game live, bro. It was the same, bro. I was interesting. Titans had to buy the first round. So I was interested to see how they go this year. Being my second team, if you can have one of those. But yeah, bro. I thought Tino was mean, bro. I don't think they played bad. I think what's cool about the Titans, bro, is they got enough firepower, bro, especially in their back three, to score on anyone, bro. Like just athletes, man, that can just beat anyone 1-on-1. Like Keanu Kinney, man, he's not much to him, bro, but he's fucking awesome, man. He's dangerous every time he brings the ball back up, and a lot of the time, with the tie, and I think they're struggling a bit without just the injury to Kieran Foran. But Kenny doesn't get the ball much in the best positions.
He has to do it hard.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he doesn't. He kind of has to create his own shit, which makes him so dangerous, bro. But just speed alone, he's awesome, bro. Khan Pereira, bro, he's one of the better finishers. I think they got decent centers with Kelly and Sami, bro. And there was a bit of a see how these guys go with Brimson and Campbell. None of these two are really known as your organising seven, but but just the amount of positivity that can come out of that fucking combination purely on offense. I think it's good opportunity for Campbell to kind of learn that 7. Campbell can ball play with the best of them, bro. If he can kind of develop his kicking game, that'd be dangerous, bro. But it was just, I'm talking a lot. I'm talking up the Titans because I just thought they played well. They didn't play bad, but just the meaning behind the Doggies when they play at Belmore, which is their spiritual home. They don't really. It's not their official home, but it was their first game at Belmore, and this is a top 4 team, bro. So I thought the Titans were always going to be up against it, bro. Doggies just did what they had to do, man. They look even more dangerous. Another year with this pack. They just got a really mean, relenting pack, and it's not even a big. I think they're going to be losing a lot with kick out for a while now because they need his size, and it's not a big pack really, but it's
just
mongrel.
Or Jacob Preston, he's mongrel. He's not a big body, man.
Yeah. So I just thought like it was always up against playing against the Doggies there at Belmore, but good for the Titans, bro. It's I'm giving a little, a teaser of what can be with them, especially with Foran coming back. You definitely got to look at him being involved in the 6 and 7. I don't know if Brimson can command a starting position, bro, but they definitely got enough firepower there, especially on attack, to do a bit of damage. Whether they make the 8 or not, it's a log jam, bro.
Bob, your thoughts on the Doggies?
They were good. They were good in this game. I thought the first 10 minutes they just shut the Titans.
Yeah, that was pretty much,
man.
Yeah,
and there was an avalanche of points for the Doggies in that first half. Si's right. Like they're gonna miss Kikau. I thought that was probably Kikau's best game in a Doggies jersey, to be honest. Like that was the first time I've seen Kikau emulate his Panthers sort of form in the Doggies uniform. Like he's played all right, but man, when he is getting the ball and he's creating shit and he's offloading and all that sort of stuff that Kikau for from the Panthers, he's dangerous, man. And that left edge is dangerous when Kikau's there and he's doing that sort of crazy stuff. That first try that they scored, which is the second week in a row now that Marcelo scored first try. For all you punters out there, that was so well worked. Like it wasn't fancy, but it was just a really smooth, well worked Burton controlling, and then all of a sudden they had numbers and one man was free and Marcelo just ran through and scored the try. I was thinking, they'll need to do that move all game and it'll look like the Titans won't have the defense for it. But as soon as they lost Burton, they lost a bit of their momentum because it was looking like it was going to be a 50-plus points game for the Doggies. And then Burton went out with his knee injury, and then that injury allowed the Titans to sort of come back. I thought Tino had an all right game for first game back for him. It's been a while, so Titans fans will be happy that he got through the game unscathed.
Yeah.
He was a real leader for them in their forward pack, especially mustering up against the Doggies pack. I agree too. Like they've got grafters. Like they don't have any big names outside of Kikau. Like you've got Curran only because we know him as an ex-Warrior, but people probably don't look at Curran the same. But guys like Jacob Preston have scored tries as much as Adam Blake did for the Warriors as he has at the Doggies. One negative I thought that sort of came out of this was just that whole, after a halfback kicks the ball and then there's contact on the half. That happened when Campbell, he did his kick, and then there was sort of some contact, and he sort of, just with the momentum from the contact, and then he fell down, sort of got back up, penalty. But then flipping Sexton does the same thing, and it was like a soccer one. Like it was very minimal, and then he was like going himself on the ground, and I was thinking, come on, please, let's not get it to where it's like frickin' soccer, where we've now, within the rules of the game, allowed for half the to do that sort of shit with any.
They need to penalise the actors, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
get it out.
Yeah, because they
Especially
say
for the really
sportsmanship,
obvious
but it's
ones
like,
like
no,
that.
it's not. That's
Yeah, man, that was so obvious that it wasn't. You weren't going to get hurt. It was minimal contact. Like they need a. I don't know if they need to grade the kind of contacts that are being made on these players, because at the moment it's just blanket. Any contact in the air is deemed foul plays. As I don't know, but that was the only sort of.
It's not hard to differentiate the contact, eh? I mean, if you're going for like to block a ball and then like
exactly.
your
You can
arm
see the
just
difference.
grazes his cheek, like play on, bro.
Yes.
Like doesn't take an Einstein just to figure out what contacts play on, what contacts like illegal, like you hit him high late after kicking it. Like, but there's too much black and white, bro. There's yeah, 40 grey, you know, that you have to make a judgment on. Like, you know, because you can tell these leftalies, they don't know fucking play any sport, man. This is the geeky guys who want to get involved. They
Stats
officiate,
guys.
but they don't know what it's like. Like, some contact, you can't, in a contact game, a high-speed game, you can't rule out contact when you're like, this is what the NFL's getting into grey area with how much pressure can you apply on the fucking quarterback. It's like, I think the halves are getting a bit too easy now, bro. You should draw the line when they start acting to try and pull a penalty, bro.
Yeah,
There's
that's a good
a lot
call
of
out,
Hollywood
Bob.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want any of that Hollywood shit to start creeping into the game because it detracts from the spectacle that the NRL is at the moment. You know, we don't need any of that shit to blight the game. So
Nice.